So if you're going to get yourself a tattoo and you don't like the pain, a bit like me, then you need this guy, Christopher here. Christopher Phoenix is a hypnotist and he can help us out. Thanks for popping into the Rubber Room, man.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
So you're not a tattooist though, are you?
No. Just a hypnotist.
So what do? Do you hang at the tattoo studio when they need you, or do you come in when they give you the call?
No, I get called in. Generally, it's the person themselves who are getting tattooed. They're the ones who make contact with me first. I come in, hypnotise them, numb the area, and just sit down and read some magazines for a while.
Fantastic. Let's go through that. But firstly, before you were doing this, you were a plebnobotomist.
Phlebotomist. Yeah, that was close enough. But yeah.
And you collected blood for medical purposes, so you're kind of used to working with people's phobias and dealing with people's issues with needles as well.
Absolutely. I've got a lot of practice in taking away needle phobias.
Well, that's me, by the way, even though I've got tattoos, and I can deal with the tattoo more than I can deal with having a blood test.
Absolutely, and that's really, really common because a phobia is not rational. That's the thing. Like when you're there for a tattoo, you're there by choice. It's you know that you're there, you're getting art. Where with blood collecting, you know it's a whole different scenario. You got a medical thing behind it.
Is there a way by doing the hypnotism that you can stop the pain of the tattoo, and how long for?
Well, absolutely. Well, the longest I've done so far is 7 hours. I had a lady do her entire leg.
Wow.
And 7 hours later, she popped back up and didn't feel a thing. And 12 hours later, she was boxing again. And no blood, no swelling.
Did you have to, around about the 5 hour mark, go, still look into my eyes?
You see, we can do it two ways. We can do it in trance, where the client just stays down in trance, or we can wake them up and I can have a conversation with them the whole time where the area is still just numbed right down.
And you say that there is reduced or no swelling or bleeding that's normally associated with tattoos because of the hypnosis?
Absolutely, because the body's not really registering trauma in that area, so it's not sending, all the usual defenses.
But you'd have a bit of bleeding, though, I imagine.
A little bit, but yeah, definitely not very much.
How long does the process take?
Depending on the length of the tattoo. Usually I come in for a bit of a pre-talk. We do a bit of an induction, numb the area, probably 10 minutes. So yeah, I can just turn up 10 minutes beforehand and then we're into it.
And when did you realise that you had this sort of correlation between the tattooing and the hypnotism? Who actually came up with this brilliant idea?
It was a friend of mine. He's actually covered in tattoos, and there's this thing it's like pain memory, where as soon as you walk into a tattoo shop, those with more tattoos, I hear this jargon about, tattoos, pain's part of it. And I go, well, not really. I think it's about the art of the tattoo. They're the big hero types who say, yep, you got to feel it. It's got to hurt. Often those people have still only got a handful of tattoos and they haven't had it on these really sensitive spots. Most of my clients are those who are either completely covered in tattoos or have only had just a couple.
People must have different levels of pain tolerance. For me, I'm just a coward and everything hurts.
Oh, absolutely. And that's fine. There's no judgment there.
Well, not by you, but by the guy tattooing me when I'm crying. That's a whole other story.
We can increase your courage if you want. Yeah, your levels of pain tolerance.
Where do people find you if they need you to come in? And trust me, I'll be using you.
Facebook is probably the easiest way to find me, either under Christopher.Phoenix.Hypnotist or Phoenix HypnoTatt. I'm actually in the process right now of creating a program. So I'm writing a book with another hypnotist in the UK, mainly for other tattooists as well around the world, so they can get on, and because it actually helps the tattooists. The client doesn't move as much.
Yeah, of course.
The area doesn't bleed and swell, and there's less pain breaks, and it just results in a nicer, cleaner tattoo.
I don't know of one tattooist that enjoys the fact that the client's getting the pain, because as you said, they want them to stay still and not jump around as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is there anybody that you can't hypnotise?
Everybody can be hypnotised, but it's if they allow themselves to be hypnotised in that moment. We often go into trance several times a day. When you just get into that autopilot mode, when you're just driving along and then you go, oh, wow, was that light even red?
Right, yeah.
Or you just turn up at your destination, you can barely remember the trip. Say when you're watching a movie, you consciously know you're watching a movie, but your subconscious doesn't. So all of a sudden your heart's beating faster if it's a scary movie. You're feeling emotions if it's say it's a romance movie. So physiologically you're having these changes. But even though your conscious mind knows that it's not real, it's just a movie.
All right, Chris, thanks for coming into the Rubber Room, mate. Next time I'm getting the needle and the damage done, I'll get you to hypnotise me so I got no idea what's going on.
Fantastic.